Hello and welcome to the Pumpis guide to Speccing your priest. I will be doing all the classes with this game, so I will start off with the priest. Today I have Discipline, Holy and Shadow. Yeah, I'm gonna start off with the Shadow specialization, and with the Shadow specialization you get Mind Flay. That is your base damage to use when you're a Shadow priest. And you also get Shadow Power, which increases your spell damage by 25% and increases your critical damage by your Shadow spells by 100%. And you get Shadow Orb, which have a 10% chance to give you a Shadow Orb when you use Shadow Pain and Mind Flay. And your Shadow Orbs is an orb that circles around you and when you have 3 orbs you get a lot more damage with your Mind Blast and Mind Spike, so it's gonna be awesome to have. And your mastery is Shadow Orb Power, increases your damage by Shadow Orbs, so yeah. Let's start with putting Shadow, yeah. And Darkness is fairly awesome because you get 3% extra haste, so it's awesome to have. And Improved Shadow Orb Pain, it increases your Shadow Orb Pain by 6%. Your damage on your Shadow Orb Pain by 6%, so it's gonna be fairly good amount of damage right there. And then you go with Improved Mind Blast, because it's a spell you don't use fairly often anymore, because you only use it when you have 3 Shadow Orbs. So yeah, you go with 3 in that. But it's still awesome to have, because you don't know what chance you have to get 3 Shadow Orbs, so yeah. Then you go with Improved Devouring Plague, because you get 30% of the damage done by your Devouring Plague. So yeah, then you go with Twisted Fate, and increases your shadow spell damage by 2%, and grants you spell hit rating equal to 100% of your spirit. So yeah, you're gonna be having spirit in your Shadow gear as well as Shadow Priest. Then you go with Shadow Form, because it's Shadow Form, you need to have it when you're in Shadow, I believe. Then you go with Harnessed Shadow, it increases your chance to gain a Shadow Orb when dealing damage with Mind Flay and Shadow Orb Pain by 4%, by 8% actually. And you have a 100% chance to gain a Shadow Orb when you critically hit when attacked. Yeah, and then you go with Vampiric Embrace, because Vampiric Embrace is not that good really, but still it's kinda good for the healers to have, having another helo. And then go with Masochism, sorry. When you take damage to equal greater than 10% of your total health, or damage yourself with your Shadow of Death, you instantly gain 10% of your total mana. And you're gonna be using a lot of mana when you're a Shadow Priest, so yeah. Then you go with Mind Melt, and increases your damage done by your Shadow of Death by 15%, or 30%, yeah. When the target's at or below 25% health, and when you deal damage with your Mind Spike, the cast time of your next Mind Blast is reduced by 50%, lasting for 6 seconds, so yeah. Mind Melt can stack up to 2 times as well, so it's gonna be fairly awesome to have when you get your Mind Spike. And then you're gonna go with Pain and Suffering, because to be lazy, I guess, but yeah. Your Mind Flay has a 60% chance to refresh the duration of your Shadow Orb Pain on the target, and reduces the damage you take from your own Shadow Orb Death by 40%, because yeah, it's gonna be a main in your combo when you attack. Yeah, and then you go with Vampiric Touch, because Vampiric Touch is a dot you put on target, so you want to have it up as often as you can, so yeah. And it causes a fairly good amount of damage, and it gives you a kind of replenishment on the target when you use Mind Blast, so yeah. And then you go with Paralysis. It's not that good for PvE, I reckon, but when you go for leveling and shit like that, it's good to be able to take away the movement from the target, yeah. And still you need to get down to the next. You're not gonna be speccing psychic horror for PvE, but if you leveling, you can still take it, and that is, let's say, with improved psychic scream, because you be having silence, and that it's kind of good. But you're gonna go with sin and punishment, and then is when your vampiric touch is dispelled, the dispeller and all nearby enemy targets within 10 yards have 50% chance to be instantly feared for 3 seconds. So yeah. And when your mind flicker really hits, the column of Shadow Fiend is reduced by 5%, so or 10%, 10 sec. I mean, yeah. Then you go with shadowy apparition. That is when you move. When you deal periodic damage with your Shadow Pain, you have 12% chance to summon a shadowy version of yourself, which slowly moves towards the target. So that is kind of awesome. That doesn't hit too hard, but it's still kind of awesome to have. And when you move, you have a chance to 60% chance to have 4 shadowy apparitions to active at the same time. So it's gonna be fairly awesome to have. And then you go with dispersion. That is just to get your mana back, I guess, when you're PvEing, because you will not be taking that much damage, but still be awesome to have. Yeah. And then you're gonna go with twin disciplines, because yeah, it's spell damage. So that is awesome to have. And then you're gonna go with mental agility for now. And when Cataclysm comes out and you hit 85, you're gonna wanna spec on evangelism, because increases your damage done by your periodic spells by 1% 2% when you use Mind Flay. So yeah, it's gonna be fairly awesome to have. And that is the shadow, I presume.